Jersey's nice.
Yeah,
I love it, man. Did you
Well,
just get that new?
one of our fans on the podcast centre is a Chilean.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so he's dying for me to wear it. Probably need to
Yeah,
lose
the
probably need to lose
boys.
a few
Hello,
pounds.
welcome to another episode of the Kennel podcast where we go live to talk everything Bulldogs, Rugby League, and have a bit of banter. Really excited to be here today. While the Doggies didn't get the win on the weekend, I still think that there's a lot happening in Rugby League and there's a lot happening for the Bulldogs. And I welcome Dibbo.
Welcome, everyone. Glad to have you all on.
We can hear the audio.
I don't know what happened on the weekend, to be honest. Mate, what happened there? It was your worst performance of the year.
I think it was the worst performance of the year for the Doggies, to be honest. It was it's quite disappointing to see us lose, but I've got a lot of thoughts about the game on the weekend. But before we get into that, quite a lot happening in Rugby League over the last week or so.
Yeah, a bit of a full-on week. I love the David Fafita front flip, then back flip. And then Parramatta went front flip, then double back flip. I think they tossed out Brad Arthur maybe. I heard they were trying to get Wayne Bennett. Imagine somebody gave him insider info saying, yeah, Bennett is open to joining you guys, and then tossed out. Now, who's their plan B? Trent Barrett, Paul McGregor?
Oh, God. That's what they've
Barrett's
got.
in there now.
Oh, my God. God help them.
Oh, anyways, geez. No, they don't need the help.
God help them.
Let
Hey,
'em be.
Jamie, how you doing? G-Land, thanks for joining. Look, we're not a big fan of the Sharkies on this podcast, but always great to have all fans of Rugby League
welcome,
here.
G-Land. Glad to have you on. Your Sharkies are flying high. Stick it to us.
Aren't they killing it, man?
You're on top of the mountain, so you got every right to kick us all back down the mountain.
And how good is Thomas, little big Tom Hazelton, man? What a freak
somebody
of a prop.
give him an Origin jersey, throw him in there. He's an absolute destroyer.
I think he's got to make his debut.
100%.
Daniel Watson, how you doing, man? Payroll just about to hit 1 p.m. here in Dhaka in Bangladesh.
Payroll.
Hey, welcome. Thank you guys for joining all the way from Bangladesh. Shout out to you and your
How
friend
do we
Shaquille.
have payroll for? This guy actually genuinely from Dhaka in Bangladesh. His mate, Shaquille and him are tuned in.
Welcome, guys. And Rugby Illusion, thanks for joining, guys. I'm really excited to be here today. Look, there's a lot happening. There's a bit of a coaching merry-go-round that's sort of started to show itself over the last week or so. Wayne Bennett's confirmed to be going to the Rabbitohs. It's been confirmed in the last couple of hours.
Nice. I hope they fail completely and then obviously got rubble after he leaves in 3 years because everywhere he goes, nothing works out for the clubs right after.
Yeah, I'm not sure, man. He's 75, 76 years old. I mean...
I just hope they completely fail. No one signed for him, please. Babies are watching. Just let him fold. Let him go back to getting 2,000 fans a game.
Look, I don't want the Rabbitohs to fold. I think they're a strong presence in the club. In the competition.
Oh, well, it was a fantastic 2 years when they weren't in the comp.
I don't like the Rabbitohs, but I don't think that I want them out.
No, they definitely got to be there. I mean? I'll tell you what, I would love to see get tossed out. The Sydney Roosters.
They're another foundation club. The competition likes to go on about foundation clubs.
Newtown. Why can't they throw out the Sydney no juniors Roosters?
Well, I mean, look, there's going to be a few announcements on new teams. I mean, we could see the Perth Bears and potentially, the South Island Jets, maybe.
Am I right in saying they're going to make an announcement by the end of the year?
So yeah, I think before the end of the season, the 18th team is going to be announced, whether it's PNG or Perth. I'm hoping it's Perth. I still don't. I can't wrap my head around the.
I don't see the
PNG
viability of having a PNG team besides politics.
Yeah, it is absolutely politics.
Sorry, but that's
what do you guys think? Give us your thoughts in the comments about the team. But I think we've had this discussion before. But look, I want to talk about before we get into all of that. I want to talk about the Doggies' loss to the Raiders. From my perspective as a Doggies fan, hey Mothman's joined us. Great to have you back.
Yep.
I think that was our worst performance of the year by far. And if we are to be a genuine top 8 contender, these are the games the Doggies absolutely have to win. These are the games the Doggies have to nail and win.
100%.
And we just couldn't. I think it was quite disappointing because we have come, so far we performed so well against the top teams. Then to sort of buckle against the Raiders, no disrespect to the Raiders, I think is sort of representative of how far we've come, but also how far we still have to go to become one of the top teams in the competition.
The way I saw it was, I tipped Canterbury to win.
So did I, to be
my
honest.
friend from San Francisco hasn't stopped ribbing me all weekend, so he's down here in Sydney and keeps to remind me, I told you and I told you. But I thought Canterbury were absolutely dreadful. Like, that was their worst performance of the year. Canberra was down to 11 players at one stage, and all of Canterbury's points came, I think, when they were up at least one player.
Yeah.
Like, they had a lot of territory, a lot of possession. There was a lot of errors in that first half, like more than normal, like from players you don't expect from, like such as Kiraz. I mean, even Kickout. I don't know why Kickout came back on. I thought that injury really affected him.
And even that knock on from
Connor
Tracy.
Yeah, that's uncharacteristic, 100%. I was fuming. Well, not because the Dogs are playing bad, but because why were the Dogs playing bad this week? Couldn't they reserve that for next week against the mighty St George Dragons? So, so I know. Look, I'll tell you now, a positive Dogs fans, they definitely won't do that 2 weeks in a row. Although I'm praying they will. Anyways, we're up against it next week. Has Canterbury named their lineup?
Yeah, so Canterbury's named the exact same lineup that was named to start last week. So Salmon's back in the starting lineup. Curran's back on the bench. Preston's back on the bench, and
same halves.
And Palasa from Sully's on the extended bench.
I actually want to see someone else get given a go in that halves. Like I'm that, because week in, week out, same thing again. But I just want to go back to the game. I'm sorry if you're willing, unless you want to talk the team list now.
No, look, we'll go back to the Raiders because I have some thoughts, right?
Yeah, I do too. Thoughts. Because look, I looked at some players were actually fantastic, like still really putting some good hard shifts. But then there was just handling errors led to crucial mistakes, and then there were some guys that went missing, which I thought, why get comfortable now?
Look, there's no polish in our team. I think that's the one thing. And look, so there's a couple of points that I've been thinking about, right? And I think Seraldo sort of alluded to this in the press conference, and it's something that I've been thinking about sort of since we started to show some good form. Even though we've only won 4 games so far this year, I think we've been in 90% of the games, and we've lost, 4 out of our 6 losses were 6 points or less, and they were to the likes of the Rabbitohs, who the game we shouldn't have lost, the Storm, the Panthers. So here are two thoughts. Right? Firstly, our rebuild, it has to happen in phases. So where we are at now, 11, 12 rounds in, our defense is up to scratch. Our defense is where it needs to be.
Yep.
The next phase now has to be developing the attack. Now there needs to be changes and systems put in place where we can then take that defensive edge and now add some polish in the attack. It has to be like a simultaneous process. We can't just continue to develop defense and not polish our attack. Over the next 6 to 8 weeks, the team needs to start concentrating on attack. If we start to see an improvement in attack, that's where I see that we can then, start becoming that top 8 team. And even if we don't make the top 8 this year, then at least we know, we've done it. We've set out our defense, and now we're setting our attack. Moving into 2025, if we sign a couple more big boppers up front, we know we have both things set in motion, ready to go. But if we continue to focus on defense and discard our attack, then it's quite disappointing, especially considering the attacking prowess we can potentially have with the likes of maybe Sexton, maybe Haywood. But I do say that, thinking that I have faith in what Seraldo's doing, and I'm not calling for Hutchinson's head. I know a lot of the fans online are saying, Hutchinson this, Hutchinson that.
I'll wait for you to complete, but before I give my 2 cents.
But Toby Sexton isn't the silver bullet. Everybody thinks that Toby Sexton's going to come in there and, produce miracles. That's not going to happen. Right? Toby Sexton is starting to perform in New South Wales Cup, but it's taken him 8 weeks to sort of get to where we need him to be. Saying that, is he going to come into the first grade and then automatically be the silver bullet? Is he going to combine with Burton seamlessly like we would expect? That's where I think the questions remain. The other thing I'm starting to realize, and I said this on Twitter, is the problem isn't individually with Burton or with Hutchison. It's Burton and Hutchison as a combination. Rarely will you find them both have a good game at the same time. So when Burton's killing it, Hutchison's nowhere to be seen. When Hutchison has a good game, Burton is off his game. I just don't think they're gelling as a combination. That's where I think the problem is, not in them as individual players. Because, look, Hutchison had a decent game in Magic Round, albeit it was against 11 players. His try assists were against 11 or 12 players, not against 13. this is where, the frustration comes for me. It's how, we're not seeing that attacking prowess from him in attack against a team of 13. Burton did have an off game, admittedly. I think the pressure of Origin and things like that did get to him against the Raiders.
I'm just going to like a few comments. Just, look, you gave your. I've just listened here to your outlook. I just want to give a shout out to Bill Carafatias, who is watching the podcast. I don't know how the guy found me, but he has found me. A few good pointers in there. Rob Ramsey for starters, and I will get more on your attack. It was slow.
It was very slow.
Daniel Watson made a good point. We've given Mr. Hutchison 11 weeks. I mean, why can't we give Mr. Sexton 2 or 3 weeks? Fair point. Hutchison's shown him for 11 weeks. He's not the answer to the attack. But I just want to go on further. I'll give you one thing about Canterbury. Their build-up for the set is great. You got power backs. You got Sexton, for example. You got Kiraz. You got, Crichton, Addo-Carr, Watson. I mean, sorry, not Watson. Sorry, look, Tracy. And then you also got Taff when he plays, who should still be playing. They build it up fantastic. And you got some boppers that run the ball well. Kickow, Hughes, Preston. I want to name your whole forward pack. But then, can I just point out something with your halves? It's pretty much one-out football. +1, +2, maybe a phase ball. If you look at it, a lot of your line breaks just came from Kickow just steamrolling people. A lot of your breaks aren't from players going through gaps, not through decoys, not through block plays, not through unders, not through X plays. There's no variety. You got Hutchison, all right, but there's no variety. This is why he's aren't scoring more points. He's a winning drab games. I commend you on that. But there's so much, the team makes so much territory, has so much possession. They should be scoring, I'm telling you now, 5 or 6 tries minimum a game. They've got that build-up. They got that. They got the talent.
100% with you.
I'm telling you, I think it's time now, especially this week against a weak team against St. George, and I'm not trying to piss in anyone's pocket, but their lineup is pretty weak. If you can get over their forwards, their defense can crumble, as the Roosters showed, as the Cowboys shown, as the Dolphins shown. And the Canterbury forward pack is more mobile than the St. George forward pack. Who's your forward pack? Blake Laurie? Francis Mollo?
Look,
I'm just trying to give it. Like this week, and yes, I am a St. George fan, I am a St. George boy, but Canterbury should really beat this side. They should have the water on the Dragons. If they don't beat the Dragons this week, and he still does, in 2 days, and if he still doesn't make any ringing changes next week, you guys have every right to rage it online.
Look, I want to just...
Sorry, that was my 2 cents.
No, and look, you're 100% correct, and I think the point about us building up, it's actually 100% on.
Holden forever, I don't disagree with you. I think Taff probably should be looked at playing halfback. But that's probably a bit away from now. But anyway, back to point.
Look, I'm very wary of throwing someone in at 7 just to hope for the best and see where that goes. Again, I want to back the coach because I believe in what Serrato is doing, and we are seeing results. While we're not getting the 2 points at the end of the week, we are performing against some top teams. All things Bulldogs has mentioned a couple of good points is that we've been playing teams after their bye week in, week out. They're coming in fresh. We're coming in after a big game, and that's another point that I want to point out.
Hutchison wasn't even a halfback at the Roosters. Neither was he at the Dragons, and neither wherever he was in between those two.
But he was a successful half in the under-20s. I know what you're saying.
And in the under-18s.
Yeah. Look, I know that, but we played the Panthers last week, before the Raiders, and that took a lot out of the team. And I think we saw that against the Raiders. We've had a very, very tough run. And look, I think you even saw that in the Panthers. I think that the Panthers losing to the Warriors has something to do with how tough of a game it was against the Bulldogs. Look, again, I'm not trying to, as you say, piss in anyone's pocket, but that was a tough game. That was an absolutely absorbing game.
I'm just saying,
Penrith.
the fix-it here, again, how many tries did you guys concede? Only 4?
We butchered 4. We easily butchered 4, and we gifted them 2.
And I'm saying the problem here, and you guys still had a horrible game. It just shows you how much you guys should have,
put them away. 100%.
But I'm just saying it week in, week out. It's those plays they don't have a fair bit of plays up their sleeves. These halves, do they? It's more just 1-out plays and just hope Kickow runs over someone.
Look, one thing I pointed out as well, and this is a criticism I guess both of Hacho and Berto, is that in our 10-20 meter line, neither of them has the ability to put the ball up and land it on a dime for Crichton, Kiraz, even maybe Sherry or Fox to jump for the ball and cause a mistake or anything like that. We just don't have that precision kicking in us close to their line. Right, I know Hutchinson's put in some, grubbers and things that have resulted in tries.
Yep.
But overall, we lack that variety in their 20 in our kicking. And I think when you look at some of the games that have been won over the weekend, a lot of the tries came from kicks, and that's something that we simply don't have.
Yep.
But it's not all doom and gloom,
because definitely not. You got the whole setup. It's just. So it's just those halves options that they're giving your plays.
So if I compare, say, the Dogs and the Dragons, right?
Dogs are way better.
Let me make a point, right? The Dogs, best and worst, there isn't a big gap. So we lost to the Raiders, and we played horribly, and we only lost by 4 points, right?
Yep.
You look at the Dragons' worst; they get smashed
38-0. I look at your Dogs lineup. I don't know where you put. I don't know what position Hutchison's in, but. Other than that, you look at your lineup, there's actually no players that are horrible. They were actually given a really good account of themselves. Even Hutchison, he competes when he goes out there. I just think he's limited as a halfback. Whereas the Dragons, I look at their lineup and I think, why are the Couchman twins in reserve grade? I think there's some clangers. Maybe Flanners. Again, I can't pick his brains. I don't know what sort of game plan or what he's got in the short to medium term. But why are the Couchman twins, for example, in reserve grade? Why is Jesse Marsky not his starting 6? Why did he need Fa'amanu Brown? I always think that his son should have been the 14, the utility role off the bench.
I never understood the Fa'amanu Brown signing.
I don't understand why Jesse Marsky is just sitting reserve. Again, he's dominating again. He deserves to start alongside Ben Hunt, not playing start of Origin period against with his son. No, he deserves to start with Ben Hunt as a running half, taking pressure off Ben Hunt. And you got those Couchman twins. Canterbury's got some boppers in reserve grade that are just as dominant and deserve a run in first grade. These two twins are the same thing. They're 6'4", 110 kilos. They move like Hudson Young. Hudson Young from Canberra is unbelievably quick. They're just pretty much as the same.
Yeah, look, I don't know what Flano's thinking there, but look, to be fair, I think.
And you guys got players, I think, as well. Same thing. It's just you got. Blake Wilson, you feel sorry for him because he's that good.
But who do you replace?
Exactly.
But the one that gets me, for example, is Pawasa Famasuli.
Had a good game, a good short
17,
stint.
18 minutes.
Good short stint.
Made 82 meters.
That was effective.
Look, it probably was against 12 players, and that's fair enough. But he was still running it hard up the middle, and I think that he could, he could do a good job for us off the bench. Mothman's just calling out the wonderful jersey that Debo's wearing.
Yeah, look,
the Palestino jersey.
Yeah,
I love
this is
jersey.
my mate is Chilean, Sal. Basically, he's an FC Palestinos fan, so. It's certainly in collaboration with the Celtic. I know it's soccer, it's a crossover, but he's a soccer fan, but he watches our podcast. I don't know if you can see the clover leaf of the Celtic. So I think they had a preseason friendly. It's a limited edition. I actually love this.
It's a beautiful jersey. Got to get me
one
of
those. Why can't the Dragons get this creative? Boring club.
They do, bro. They do. The Dargans, and then their plays.
Please.
Their plays debut in the future. Anyway, in any case, the other thing I think that as fans we need to keep in mind is we were bound to have a poor game where we are disappointed. Like, we weren't going to be perfect every single round of the season. Yeah, like as a club that's still building, we were bound to drop the ball at one point or another. And I think this is not out of character. I think it's fine.
Should have still won.
Look, but that's the
even
point.
Playing bad.
If you have a bad game and you think we should have still won, that says a lot about the team.
Of course. I'm just hoping they have an even worse game this week.
Hopefully we don't play 2 games in a row poorly. But yeah, I just think, look, it was bound to happen as a team. And it's just something that we need to learn from.
We got our favourite Melbourne Storm fan coming out throwing barbs at us, B1 and B2. Zahid Badra and the Melbourne Storm. So what year did you start following Melbourne Storm, mate? Was it after they had won 4 grand finals over the salary cap? Anyway, bandwagon Glory Hunter fan.
Dino's saying, is there any news about Preston? Look, I don't think there's any news. He played well last week. He played last week.
So who's missing from the we'll get to that.
No one's
I'll
missing.
let you get to that.
We'll get to that. The other thing that, I want to ask you, like Doggies fans, is, we're calling for Toby Sexton, Blake Taff. We're just throwing names out there. I think we're starting to be a little bit desperate, and I don't think we're at desperation stages just yet.
You aren't desperate, but, come on, man. The attack needs something to reinvigorate.
Yeah, look, things need to change.
You've had 3 months to show us you're not the halfback.
And look, we're going to put a poll up, right? And I want to ask.
Everyone vote for Sexton.
Has Seraldo earned our trust? The poll will be up there soon, and
I definitely
you know,
think.
has he earned our trust?
Oh, look, they've turned it around.
But I mean, players are saying, if we lose then, or if we have another bad game, or this and that,
No. Don't be doomsayers. Like, he's only 4 and 5.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
4 and 5.
No, we're 6 and 4.
Or whatever it
with
is.
one bye. And look, I understand that, but again, 4 of those 6 we've lost by 6 points or less.
But you guys showing that he's in the running for a top 8 spot.
We are, and if
that's the first time in a long time.
We just need to attack better. I'll be interested to see what changes happen on the day.
Can somebody select yes on our behalf? Or am I doing it? I don't think I can select it.
And look, if you guys are, watching, I really appreciate your, patronage. Please be sure to like that video. Please just, give a big like. Subscribe if you haven't. Just really, really helps us get into the algorithm and helps us continue doing what we're doing. Just give it a quick like. Thank you very much. Really, really appreciate it. I think, Dino's saying that there are types of games. These are the types of games, against the Raiders. We look back at the end of the season, and when we're 9th, saying we should have won that.
I hope that's an omen, even though I agree with it. I hope that's an omen for a Bulldogs loss.
Look, I agree with that, Dean. I think the Rabbitohs is another one of those games where we look back and say, we should not have lost that game. And look, we win a couple of those games that we lost, by 6 points or less, and we're in a vastly different position. Like, if we had won those games, we'd be, top 6, top 4. Zata's saying showing isn't doing, so the half problem needs to be addressed. Look, I'm with you.
Holden Forever gave a good comment from where they've come from last year to this year, and just seeing how brutal they've been in most of those games this year. He's definitely got trusted Serraldo's chip 98. Stop it. Be realistic. 13 plus. No way. Kidding yourself. Don't forget, it's at Accor Stadium on a Thursday miserable night. Is it raining?
But whoever decided that it's just poor planning on behalf of the NRL. Mitch is saying that we're a little bit overrated. We're still not that good in the scheme of things.
He's earned to be the side to be wary of. Like after you've literally almost 3 months of great performances. Of course, he deserves to be feared.
I mean, feared is not it. I think that
every side that plays he's absolutely wary. You smacked the Roosters for starters.
Yeah, first half we did. Yeah.
Yeah, but he just absolutely belted them. He gave Cronulla a tough game. He gave Penrith a tough game. I mean, he's almost got him in the end. He's beat the Tigers. Who else am I missing? I don't know about Canberra. I don't know about Parramatta. I think he's a big Parramatta in the rematch, definitely.
I mean, they've got Barrett now, so if we don't...
Oh, no, yeah, okay. I was going to say... All right, so he's looking at 50 points on the scoreboard. that would be good.
But look, I actually think that one of the things that is happening is we're expecting too much of the Bulldogs now. We're like...
He's hurt the Melbourne Storm, if you remember.
Oh, we absolutely did. And, we're sort of at the point now where, the fans are expecting a lot. And I don't think... I just don't think we're overrated. I don't think we're that highly rated. Everybody's still saying, 12th, 13th. But as fans, we can see that there's a lot of things that have improved in our team. As Holden Forever has said, we're a much, much better team than we were, even at the beginning of the year. If you look how we were performing and how we're performing now. Sure, the Raiders was a bit of an anomaly, but, every team's bound to have that game where they look back and say, that was a bad game. Like, I think the way we played against the Knights, for example, was great. Way we played against the Storm, the way we played against the Roosters, even against the Panthers, our attack did lack, and I think if we had better attack, we win. But, you've got to take it on context that we don't have the best forwards or the best halves, and for what we've been able to achieve is great. But now, as I said before, the next phase of the development is we need to start building our attack better. That's where I think our rebuild needs to go next. And Dean's saying that Hayward's on in it's night and day because he creates speed, and his biggest downfall is passing, is that he's slow and inaccurate. I think it's not that it's inaccurate. I think he's just too slow. And I mean this with absolutely no disrespect, but a good half will turn a half break into a line break. With Hutcho, he turns a line break into a half break.
And we saw that against Canberra how many times?
There was a
4 or
couple
5
of times.
times.
I swear, it pains me to say that. I don't mean any disrespect to him, honestly.
We're losing the room here.
Truth.
Cam's gone from 100% trust down to 60%. Come on, guys, really?
Look, Daniel Saluka Fafita. Look, I don't think we'll see him in first grade for at least a month to 6 weeks, just because he's going to need to build up his pace, build up his fitness, and to be at the defensive level that Serraldo wants his props at. We may not see what I do think though, and this is sort of a little bit of a guesstimate or an educated guess, is that Lipoi Hipoi will be debuting
this week.
Not this week, but sooner rather than later. I think Lipo Hipoi, we can see him debut within the next month. And you can sort of...
Has Cam come out with any clangers for lineup this week? Just so hopefully asking.
No, it's going to be the same.
Damn. G-Land, Brandon Trindle might be on the market soon. I think Cronulla should do themselves a favour and tie him up for the next 4 years.
No, you've got... I actually think Atkinson's better than Trindle.
But I just think...
He's showing more...
I think him and Hines are gelling together, so keep them for the next 4 or 5 years as your halves. He will be in a good position.
I don't know. Look, Trindle... I don't even want to get into it. Anyway, now, I want to talk about Magic Round. So I sort of just want to talk about Magic Round overall. You know, and also want your guys' opinions. I didn't really enjoy this Magic Round. I thought the officiating was crap.
All the games were close except for Parramatta.
The games were close, but something
enjoyed
about
it
it,
even more.
I don't know. I didn't really enjoy this Magic. Maybe it was the dark cloud of us losing to the Raiders affected my outlook on Magic Round. But I don't know. I didn't really enjoy.
The ground was a bit greasy. I mean, it was good. Most games were close except for that Parramatta game. They got blown away, but other than that.
You know, I thought there was a couple of clangers. You know, with the Titans getting robbed with that last try against the Knights. I thought that was a try.
I thought it was a try as well. Yeah, I think I was the only guy in the tipping comp besides one other guy that tipped Titans, and everyone went.
I mean, I tipped.
Sorry,
the Titans
I went Newcastle. Sorry, and everyone else went Titans, and I got lucky.
Yeah, look. I think Zata saying Parra got belted so badly their coach got the sack. Best Magic Round.
We got this? There's a Bangladesh or payroll.
The Magic Round made no sense to us Bengalis in Dhaka.
How do we get it? We picked up a Chilean, now we picked up a Bangladeshi guy on the chat. Do we really have to see you explaining to him? Just do the
Look,
honors.
basically, Magic Round it's around the footy where all the games are played in one stadium back to back. So on Friday there was 2 games, on Saturday there was 3 games, and then on Sunday there were 3 games. They were played in the exact same stadium, and sort of everybody goes to Brisbane, and it's like a festival. It's a great festival. Everybody that went said that it was absolutely fantastic. So I just thought the footy wasn't that great this weekend.
Don't tell that to the Bangladeshis. They seem to be liking it.
I don't know. I didn't really enjoy it. But yeah, look, Daniel Watson saying the Roosters Sharks game was pretty exciting. I think that was probably the game of the round for me. Well, actually, the Waz Panthers game was a pretty good game as well. I enjoyed that game.
Sharks Roosters for me. The Waz were good. Game. It was good to see the Warriors back in the winner's circle. But Sharks Roosters was a quality game.
It was a good game. Good to see the Sharks get over it. That, speaking of Roosters, there's a bit of controversy around a video that was released last night on social media about the Roosters players being a little bit out of sorts on video. I thought that was really interesting, and people were trying to make all sorts of conclusions. Look, you can assume and conclude whatever you want, but I didn't think that there was anything weird about the video, to be honest. Like,
the Roosters came out and shot it down. They said it was a 1 hour live stream.
I don't like the Roosters, but you can't just talk shit like that. I just don't like that, to be honest.
You got Brad Arthur. He was gone. Does Zach Lomax do a backflip?
Well, I mean, apparently the CEO of the Eels came out and he said no, that wasn't in his clause. That wasn't in his contract.
Are you sure? They always say that.
That's what the Eels. Look, I hope he does what's it called?
We'll find out soon.
Sack the Eels, but yeah, look, Eels are a mess right now. But I don't think that I don't see Moses or Gutho or anyone like that leaving. I think that with the right coach, they have the roster to come back next year and be an absolute force. That Barrett, I don't think is that coach that's going to get them.
I think Parramatta's on the way down. I think they won't make the 8 either next week.
I don't think they'll make the either this year, but I think with the right coach next year,
they definitely won't make it this year. They won't. I don't think they'll make it next year. I'll be surprised if they do.
I think. Oh, man,
their roster's starting to. They need to reinvigorate that roster. A large chunk of it. MKB gaming videos. Your thoughts on the Raiders' prospects for the season, especially after the victory over the Dogs? What a marvellous win. Has Dibbo given them credit? Oh, Canberra fan.
Oh, my God. Look,
I'll give Canberra credit. They got that KO Weeks. Jamal Fogarty's a guy. You know what? Honestly,
Ethan Strange did so well. Yeah, he was fantastic.
You're on the money. Fogarty and Strange, Ethan Strange. Mate, since Fogarty's been injured, they've really stepped it up, and Canberra's deservedly in the 8. Hudson Young is a Ferrari in the forwards. The old Fox, what's his name? Papali'i.
Yeah.
He's still going strong, and then his halves
and
partner.
Rapana is an absolute grub,
he's the Silver Fox, and then you got the other their captain. Why am I forgetting his name? Tarpany.
Yeah, Tarpany was very,
mate, he's for me, he's a top 10 forward in the game. He's unbelievable. Can you imagine if you played in a strong lineup week in, week out?
Yeah, but look,
he would absolutely be even more effective. But he carries his own. In a Canberra side, I'll tell you what, that punches above its expectations every week, and they seem to make the finals on the fringes every
take
year.
away those errors, those uncharacteristic errors, and they lose well. That's the honest truth. I know that
they just get the win.
Look, I think the Bulldogs,
Side.
the Bulldogs lost that game as opposed to the Raiders winning it. I honestly, I know that sounds harsh, but it was a Bulldogs loss as opposed to like a full-on Raiders win. Not taking the win away from them, but that's sort of the way I feel about it. Michael P saying you haven't done enough of the stuff if you can't see what was going on with the Roosters. Look, I get that, but I think
we're just not going to
unless
go
there's
there.
proof and evidence, I just don't think it's fair for people to come out and do this stuff. I don't know. Look, I'm maybe I'm being a bit too soft.
Somebody commended me on my jersey.
Yeah, I
don't
love
know if
the
that's
jersey.
a play
I
on
love the
Sonny's
jersey.
name, but
How you doing, Samira Williams? Thanks for joining.
Williams, that's what a name that
Michael
is.
P, thanks for
Must
joining.
be a regular.
So the poll of Hasserelda earned our trust has ended, and it's yes 60%, no 39%, which I think it's a fair representation.
Somewhere on the fence.
Channel E's joined. Afternoon, gents. Just finished work. Going to watch this video on playback. Thanks for joining. Channel E, lovely to have you.
I think Badger did hit it right. Rapana actually did have us, but he's a silver fox. Week in, week out, he's there. He has some great matches. If you think about it, Rapana got sin bin once, should have been twice. It was a bit dreadful, Rapana. I'll give Zahra the Melbourne Storm fan.
Mothman's made
one.
a cracker comment from brown paper bags to clear plastic ones. I think that's horrible.
What does it involve? Is it involve a credit card as well to come with that clear plastic bag for obvious reasons? Apparently, there was a video of a female player circulating as well that was X-rated.
No, let's not.
I think that's going to honestly. I was going to point out something. I think it's going to be a bigger problem for the NRL going forward because I'll tell you now, they do send out a lot of videos. Males don't tend to do that. Females seem to do it because they're easily coerced by the males.
Let's not.
Going to be a bigger
let's not
problem
go
going
there.
forward.
That's not a topic I really care
but
about.
Anyway,
that we need to discuss.
I think Sammy Abu Williams is a Dragons fan. Oh wow, finally one fan. Thank you.
Up the Dragons. So there were 11 sin bins on the weekend. Only 3 less than the most ever in a round of footy, according to Rando. Shout out to Rando for his statistics.
I'll tell you what, most will deserve it. Rapana should have gone to the bin twice, not once.
Yeah, look, not just there were a couple of sin bins that I do think that obviously they were deserved, and there's the stat from Rando. Be sure to follow him on Insta, Facebook, Twitter, all the socials. He does some great work.
Oh, random stats guy.
Yeah, random.
I think it was Rando.
Yeah,
it's random stats guy. He's the GOAT.
He's fantastic.
Man, he's utilised by everyone on social media. They all love him. Random stats guy, love him.
Absolutely. And look, also on Instagram, if you guys like, firstly like this video because as I said, it helps us. So please, really like this video. Be sure to subscribe. But also on Instagram, be sure to follow us there and follow the official fan page of the Bulldogs. I'll put the link down in the description after this video. Be sure to like. They've been really bloke there is an absolute weapon, helping us sort of grow our channel and grow our podcast. So a really big shout out to the official Bulldogs fan page on Instagram. Now, Cam Munster does his groin and will be out of Origin.
How many players are missing from Origin? I was looking at it today. They gave me 9 big names: Munster, Bradman Best, Nathan Cleary,
Turbo,
Flegler. Who else? We already said Turbo. There was a fair bit of Ponga.
Adam Reynolds, potentially could have been in the Blues 7.
I don't think so.
I mean, just
think
potentially.
I think he was gonna put up his hand, to be honest. But I was just looking at it, and I suddenly think Queensland's got worse off injuries than New South Wales all of a sudden. We've got
Murray
Tino
as well.
Murray, Tino
Famasuli,
whatever you say his name, and Malaawi, I think.
Yeah, Fa'asu Malaawi. So there's just so many injuries at the moment, and now you add Munster to it. Look, I think you have DCE there, and then probably Dearden at 6. I think Dearden will do a great job there at 6.
Look, Jamie, I'm going that way as well. I still think Queensland's got him because New South Wales just don't know how to ever pick the right team.
I'm actually a big fan of Maguire. I think that he'll do a great job with the team. I think that Fittler.
So he doesn't pick Burden at 6 anyway.
Look, no. Whoever he chooses with, I think I'm a big fan of Madge, and I think if the Eels are serious about winning a competition, he'd be the first person they'd go to. I actually think Maguire's a great coach, and he did his best at the Tigers with
So you reckon
support.
So you reckon Maguire should put up his hand for Para? I reckon they need some of that toughness instilled.
Yeah, absolutely. And you saw like there was the Tigers documentary where they had him. The guy's got passion. The guy's got aggression.
He had him running ninth, and they got tossed him out. And then since then, they've run with the wooden spoon. Like he was dealing with such a limited lineup. 100%. Give him something. Give him a lineup with something, and mate, they'll be a whole different beast.
No, I agree. I think has Hines earned the blue 7? I think he has. I don't think that his Origin game last year or his time in Origin last year is a representation at all of his potential and capability, and I think he'll do a good job for New South Wales. I don't know who 6 is going to be. I don't think that Luai will be the best match for him, although he's done a job there before, and I think he can do the job. But I think at least we've got Hines 7. What do you think?
You'd have to go Hines, and then at 6, there's a few options there. Luke Brooks maybe.
Should we end the podcast early because of this
I love that
stupid
reaction.
suggestion?
This guy.
Bro, come on.
Hey, 3 months ago he was singing his praises. Now he can't.
No. He hasn't done anything to warrant that selection.
I just want to go back to that meme. Remember that meme that went around? It was Stephen Bradbury. Well, remember the Olympics?
Yeah.
So they put Luke Brooks' head. I just got to mention it again.
Nah.
That's a good one. Kyle Flanagan for 6.
Danny Watson saying maybe Walker. I don't think Walker should be anywhere near the number 6. I think Walker doesn't perform under pressure.
I don't think he's focused on New South Wales this year. His club's in that much trouble. His focus should be on his club and getting him out of the doldrums.
Rigby's asking who are the New South Wales centres. I would go Crichton and Ramian.
Looking like that way.
I think Crichton and Ramian.
But I just want to point out something. If Latrell is fit and he's available, I would never say no because he's absolutely dynamic. You saw him when he's at the centres for the Roosters.
I agree.
You seen him when he's at New South Wales. He's a match winner.
Yeah.
Put him in there. I don't know who misses out, Critter or Ramian, because Ramian is an absolute powerhouse. Critter, we know he's all class.
Critter can't miss out. I don't think Critter hasn't been bad in any way, shape, or form. I think he's been great for the Bulldogs. His leadership on the field will be very crucial, especially if there's going to be a few debutants for the Blues. Fullback, I still think that
I'll go with Tedesco.
No, I think that it can't be Tedesco personally.
Well, I think Madge will just play it safe and go Tedesco.
I think Dylan Edwards has earned his chance or has earned his shot at the fullback position. I don't think he will do anything wrong. Gillian saying Burton at 6. I would love to see Burton at 6.
There he is. He got excited. Madge is back in the good books.
No. I would love to see Burton at 6 because I think he has the kicking game. He has the body, and I think he won't let anyone down. And the difference is that Hines is a good organising number 7. So I think he would suit.
What about if Moses back and fit? Is he?
Well, he would have only played one game or half a game or something by then. I don't know if he would be ready to or have the fitness. That's my opinion, and I don't think he's performed the times that he had a chance at Origin. So I just don't think he's an Origin player. But that's me. I'm quite anti Eels and Moses. I think that one of the Eels' problems has been that they worry too much about the refereeing decisions as opposed to actually playing good footy. Gutho and Moses are the biggest sooks I've ever seen after Jason Demetrio in rugby league. So that's just for me. I'm
just looking at our 6 options, and besides Luai, we're really limited.
Yeah, we are 100%.
Jeez, what a horrible.
Yeah, if Burton has a good game,
producing talent.
I actually think if Burton has a good game against the Dragons, he can pencil himself in at the 6. It's my honest opinion. I think that match is open for it.
Chill.
Daniel Watson saying that his kicking game isn't good enough. Hey, Daniel, I agree with you, but I think his lock and kicking game is. I
like this Zahid Badro with his comment for Drinkwater. I absolutely right.
Last year I want Drinkwater there, but 100%. This year he hasn't been playing.
Yeah, he's been underwhelming this year.
That's my honest opinion.
I know because his size been real crap. But I know if he's thrust in there,
he'll do a job
he's
for it.
Gone.
Yeah, 100%.
That's one good suggestion. Finally, Zahid Badro finally made a good contribution to his podcast.
The only reason he wants Drinkwater there is because he was at the Storm to begin with. So that's probably why there's Drinkwater there.
Okay, probably you're right. Yeah.
But other news around the grounds. Obviously, Brad Arthur was sacked, and apparently they've been talking to Wayne Bennett all month to try and bring him across to the Eels.
Then sacked him, and then sacked Arthur, jumped the gun, and then got turned down. So now they're left with Trent Barrett or Paul McGregor.
Left with Trent Barrett as the interim coach. I think that Trent Barrett
I think Parramatta should turn around and give Barrett a 4-year deal.
Oh God!
I just want to point out something. What's going to improve this year under Barrett? Like, just to go toss out Arthur before his halfback and his fullback come back. What are they? Why? Why couldn't you wait for them to come back and just see out the year?
I'm with you. That's
what was there to be gained?
I think that was the
just to put in Barrett, who ran with a wooden spoon, who made excuses at had a winch to the media. He threw his own club under the bus at Manly. Like, come on, man. He's been at 2 clubs, and honestly, I wouldn't give him a good character reference whatsoever.
And even at the Dogs,
can't handle adversity.
Even at the Dogs, I remember he made a comment.
His other club, yeah.
Like, do you guys? I would just Doggies fans will remember this quite clearly. I remember in a press conference, he came out and he said, "Look, this team can't score more than 20 points, so we can't allow our opposition to score more than 20 points." Guy gets sacked. Mick Potter comes in, and we're scoring 30 points a game. Sort of just shows that the type of mentality he has about the team. I'm not sure that he's actually a head coach. I don't think he has the temperament for it.
Definitely not.
And the temerity at all.
He should downgrade himself to stats man instead of assistant. Anyway.
But, that the Eels have decided to get rid of Brad Arthur. I don't think it's a bad move, to be honest. I just think the timing of it is a bit weird. I thought maybe it was a last-ditch effort to try and get Bennett on board. But Bennett has confirmed earlier today that he will be with the Rabbitohs for the next 3 years. For the sake of the Rabbitohs and sake of their fans, I hope that they implement a long-term plan, not just hope that that Wayne Bennett's going to get in there and win them a grand final and then be done with it.
74.
75.
He'll be 75 next year, yeah.
So when he finishes up, he'll be 78. So it's
77.
I don't know, man. It's one of those things. But when you have him there,
that's unheard of. Like, all right, if he was 74 finishing up, which he is, fair enough. Like,
he'll be close to 80, so...
a lot of guys are in nursing homes at that age, aren't they? Jeez.
Samir Abu-Williams saying Eels should get Maguire. Look, I agree. I think he'll be...
I don't disagree, but please don't get him Parramatta. Stick to Barrett. Barrett or Paul McGregor. I'm just telling you from experience. Stick to them.
Sort of final, just quickly, Taylor May is allegedly to be charged with domestic violence occasioning actual bodily harm, and spying and intimidation.
What, spying?
Yeah, and intimidation.
Spying.
Yeah, when you sort of
must be that's a scrubby axe. Like, he's not a first time offender. He's a repeat offender.
Yeah, look,
seems like he's got an anger problem as well. Besides being a grub, Look, throw the book at him.
If he's charged and is proven,
why should he be?
Tear up his contract. Honestly, I hate to say this. Why should he be privileged? I hate to say this, but tear up his contract.
He's making about 10K before tax a week, 6K after tax a week. Mate, some people don't even make 6K a month.
Yeah, for me, it just boggles my mind. And there's another high-profile player rape allegation from Queensland as well. Look, I don't know which team it's from. I don't know who it is, but it's just disappointing.
Has that been floating around because of News Limited journals, or is that actually legit?
Look, there's just a lot of conjecture at the moment. But hopefully it's nothing. I hope it amounts to nothing, and I hope there wasn't any actual rape. I hope it's just people talking shit. But if someone gets charged for it, man, like I don't know, it's disappointing. Because I think the game does a lot of good, and then you have silly people who ruin it for everybody. But if you are watching this, please be sure to like and subscribe.
Bloody hell. Do the Rabbits have a clause in Bennett's contract in case Bennett drops dead?
That's a harsh comment, bro.
He's in good health, yeah, but I mean...
Apparently he still goes for jogs and stuff, and he's quite healthy. So
he's such a fit guy. Wow.
So, we're sort of coming towards the end of the podcast. I want to talk about the team and the Dragons game on Thursday night. Sumo, if you could just put that up, the team list. Now, I know I'm going to put the team list up, but it's quite redundant because it's the same team that was announced... for the game against the Raiders. Preston finds himself on the bench. Salmon starting. Curran's also back on the bench, and Pawasa Famasuli drops to the.
Is that the jersey they're wearing this week?
That's their.
That's a lovely jersey. That's beautiful, man.
Fantastic.
Wow,
yeah,
that is a lovely jersey. They got it right. Wow, that's brilliant.
It's very, very nice.
What's Dragons wearing?
Sorry?
Are the Dragons at least wearing an Indigenous jersey?
I'm not sure. Look it up. See if you can find one.
Oh,
but
please. All I got is a red V. Anyway.
So, I think the Doggies have been on fire with their jerseys. They did the 2004 grand final winning throwback jersey as well. That was really, really nice.
My favourite one would always be that 95 one.
Yeah, the 95 one was
lovely.
beautiful.
Even their 80s ones are nice.
But look, as you can see, you know, Tracy's back, you know, fullback, Kiraz, Sherry.
Why does he look like
Crichton,
Ben Barber in that? He looks like Ben
I
Barber.
think the lighting, yeah, making him look a little bit
Addo
like
Carr
Ben
looks
Barber.
like Ben Barber in that photo. That is wow. Remember Barber?
Oh man,
we wish, you know, it would have been nice if he stayed longer.
love to get Barber on the podcast one day. But yeah, look, the team is as named sort of against the Raiders. I think it's interesting. I don't think this will be the team that runs out. There will be some changes, whether Preston starts for Salmon or Curran starts for Salmon. I don't know.
So I'm just trying to check if the Dragons got any jerseys.
But that team, I think, can do a job against the Dragons.
Oh, they do. Well, they've put up an Indigenous jersey. It's got like a V towards it. That's actually not bad. Yeah. I don't know if we can get the graphic, but
Simon, is there any way you can get that graphic? It was a bit hard. Sorry, we're just annoying our producer now, asking him to put some more stuff up there. Simon does a great job, by the way.
The graphics down. I mean, it's not bright. If you go to
no, we won't be able to. I don't think we'll be able to see it properly on the camera.
That
but
looks nice too. Wow.
Yeah.
Doggies one's special though.
Rugby Illusion saying Ciraldo always changes the team from
can't see
kickoff. Look, to be honest, he does, but it actually annoys me. I think just make the call early on, let people know what's happening. But that's just me. Whether we see some changes in the halves, I don't think we will, but probably we'll see some changes in the forwards. One guy I think hasn't really hit his straps since his injury has been Kurt Mann. I don't know if he's playing injured or he's just trying to find his feet again, but I don't think he's been as effective as he was before his injury in that game against the Roosters. Look, Bailey Hayward, I know people like Bailey Hayward, but I think his position there at 14, I don't know if I like it, to be honest.
Where do you want him starting at 7?
No,
He can play 7 as well.
Look, he either starts at 7 or he's not in the team.
Gotcha.
That's me personally.
Yeah.
I think
Another forward, another front row.
yeah, look, have a Poasa
Poasa's
there.
back out of there.
Have a Poasa or even a Blake Taff. I think Blake Taff can add a lot of punch.
Yep.
So that's me personally.
If you're having Bailey, he's not a backup hooker, is he?
I mean, he comes on. He plays different. He plays lock. He plays
he's playing
7.
utility.
He's playing utility.
Okay, good. That's probably a good thing then.
It's not a bad thing because I think he's a good replacement for Kurt Mann, but I also think potentially he can use him as a replacement for Reed. I think Reed sort of towards the latter 15 minutes of the game, he does start to make some errors, miss some tackles, so that could be something. I
just thought Reed probably like 10 minutes before half time and 10 minutes after half time. He gets to
himself-
half time, man. That's like half an hour smack it out, and then half an hour after having a half an hour break. I think that's a good shift for him. 60 minutes.
Look, I agree. I think 60 or even 70 minutes for him could be good. By the way, there we go. Yeah, that's the Dragons team list, and
it's not bad either.
It looks quite good.
I wasn't looking at the Dragons list. Sorry, I was looking at the jersey. The Dragons list sucks. Don't worry about that. I was looking at the jersey. That's actually not bad. It's got the V.
Really nice. I actually really like that jersey as well.
You got more white in it, which is good. Normally they have more red in it.
No, I love the Indigenous jerseys. I think.
Every team
really
comes out.
nice.
Even the Kiwi one's lovely.
The Warriors one's always really
Every
nice
year they
too.
come with
Yeah.
something really different.
Look, I think for the Dogs, and interested to hear your thoughts, guys. I think for the Dogs, our danger man or the danger man for the Dragons up against the Dogs, I think is Jaden Saw. I think for us, he's the danger man. If we can...
If his teammates ain't going to be doing running lines for him or putting pressure on the Dogs, then he's not going to be able to do anything. It's the same thing for Ben Hunt week in, week out. Because he doesn't have a running half next to him, he's not as effective as you see him in State of Origin.
You reckon?
100%.
Look, I just think if we can...
There's 13 players on the field that Saw has to contend with. If his teammates aren't putting pressure and keeping the Doggies' defence in two minds, he ain't going to do anything. So don't worry about it.
Daniel Watson saying Lomax is going to bend us over.
Who's Lomax?
Look, I'm not.
Lomax is going to bend you guys over.
Look,
really?
Lomax has a miracle pass in him or a miracle play in him, and
that's about it.
It'll be very good.
But that's all he's got to watch. That kick from Hunt, the bomb. That's all he's got.
If they target Fox with the high kick consistently.
But did you see Kiraz on the weekend? Most bombs, besides that unfortunate that one, but most bombs he diffused. Look, if anything, he's really good under the high ball.
But he'll be up against Ravalawa, and I'm not really concerned about Ravalawa. But I think if they target
Ravalawa can't catch it. Anyway.
If they target Fox with the high kick consistently, I think Lomax can get over Fox in the jumping area. I do think so.
Why is Fox? I've never seen Fox have a problem catching the ball. And then I remember
he does get out jumped.
But Fittler made that clang. I remember about Tupou. He put Tupou in there, and then Tupou was getting out jumped instead.
Yeah, he was. But I do think that that is one area we could be vulnerable. But overall, I think our backline defense has been quite good, and we can choke the Dragons quite easily out of this game. I think in the second half we can choke the Dragons completely out of the game. If we start fast and get a couple of tries, I reckon we can get a good roll on against the Dragons.
Have you seen the Dragons' immobile forward pack? I'll show you how immobile. They might defend occasionally well, but Francis Marlowe might give you 5 or 10 minutes. Hame Sele is still finding his feet. Tom Eisenhuth goes through a lot of work, and credit to him.
70 tackles,
but
man.
he's not robust in attack. Jaden Sawyer gets a tick. Jack DeBellin's not the young 24-year-old anymore.
But he's been good. He played good. He played good a couple of weeks ago.
He's okay. He's 34 now. So, and then I don't know what Fuamanu Brown's going to do. Blake Laurie's been our worst player this year. Raymond Fatala-Mariner is okay. And then Luciano Leilua hardly played this year because he's either injured or sitting out week. So, honestly, I'm just pointing out unless they exceed expectations, why do the Dragons have a better forward pack? Why do the Dogs have something to worry about?
I'm actually very excited on that left side of Kikau, Fox, Sherry, Fox.
Who are they running against on that
Suli.
side? Suli and who? And Ravalawa?
I think so, Suli and Ravalawa.
They'll be all right. I'll be more concerned.
No, sorry. It'll be Jack Bird. Bird and
Lomax. Yeah. Oh, they're slow. Is Fox on that side?
Yeah, I think Fox
so
is
if
on
you
that
guys,
side.
I hope to God your halves do not put any kicks through. Because Bird and Lomax have to be the slowest wing centre pairing.
I actually think we can burn you guys on that side so often if we get it right. They're even
slower than, in my opinion, the Ravalawa and Suli. Suli's actually got a bit of toe behind
him. He does. But I actually think it'll be interesting to see how... because
Sloan can't do it all himself.
Look, Suli is really good. But he's laterally, his defense isn't very good. Have you noticed that if he gets someone who can skip out, if he can skip out and give an offload, if Crichton can do that a couple of times, I think we can find on both edges the Dragons lacking.
Ravalawa loves coming in like blindly. Have you seen that? He'll come like 30 metres infield, just forgets about the wing.
And he has a mistake in him as well. He has a big mistake in him. So look, it'll be an interesting game. Who's the danger man for you from the Dogs?
I know Kiraz is going to eat meters galore because we don't have anyone that will silence him. Because Lomax won't go after him. Is Kiraz after? If he's up against Ravalawa, we'll try to go after him. But man, I worry about Moran because he's mobile and he goes through the middle. Good call. But please have a shocker. Like honestly, I just want to Sam Hughes. I can see him getting over our forwards.
Sam Hughes is a beast. I think Sam Hughes is building up to be a great prop. Honestly, I'm so glad.
I hope Kikau doesn't get any ball because he shows he can steamroll people.
No, I think he'll be getting.
I'm bad. I'm just literally lasering your whole lineup before they even start.
Omar Hayek has said that Ben Hunt will be on his A game. He always is against the Bulldogs. Danny Watson saying
he wasn't on his A game when it was 60-18. All right.
Yeah. The Dogs aren't good under the high ball.
Who? Dogs are better than the Dragons under the high ball.
Oh, no, we have a mistake. The last few weeks we've been really poor under the high ball.
And your backs return the ball a lot better than ours.
And Daniel Watson saying Fox never jumps for the ball. I agree. Fox doesn't jump for the ball, and that's why a lot of the wingers get it over him.
He does occasionally.
That could be a problem for us. Rob Ramsey saying Haywood should start at lock and have a break and come on as hooker halfback for the last 15. I agree with that.
A halfback? No. You can't have a player then kicking out the halfback an hour in and putting in. No, that doesn't work. Yeah. If you want to go lock then hooker, I can understand.
Liam, are you a Dragon supporter? Because he's saying, I hope Flanagan scores first and we win 50-6.
He's just got a fetish for Flano. Right?
I think, Zata saying Tracy solid on the high ball. The game will be won on the right edge with Dragons overcompensating for kicks. Look, I don't think so. I think that they won't be able to stop kick out. I do believe that you won't, like Burden kick out combo won't have 2 bad games in a row. I could be wrong, but I actually think that Burden has been one of the formed 5/8s in the game, and when he has a bad game, people put it on him because his potential ceiling is so high. But I think that look for Burden and kick out to absolutely run riot against the Dragons. That's my prediction.
The Dogs is,
Liam, you are a Doggy supporter. Good to see.
Yeah,
I was thinking that.
He's just got a fetish.
Appreciate it, Liam.
Dogs should start favourites, definitely. I'm not an odds person, but if I was a betting man, I would have probably said say $1.60 to $3.
Look, I don't
Dragons
care about
at
that.
3. I'm just saying, but the Dogs deserve to start favourites.
We don't do gambling here. We don't do alcohol. Sorry.
Yeah,
we just don't talk about that at all.
Person.
Some of the other podcasts I love, but it's all about gambling and it's all about sport. I really hate that.
But Dogs deserve to start favourites. I can't see why anyone would disagree. Yes, the Dragons got 1 win extra, but then if you get against some handicap sides, so that shouldn't count.
Yeah. Anyway.
Other than that, when the Dragons have lost, they've lost like comfortably. Whereas the Dogs, if they've lost,
Yeah, we haven't been blown
they've-
off the park yet.
it's pretty much 4 tries, I think, by a try or less.
4 games by 6 points or less. So
I mean, imagine those were wins.
Yeah,
You'd
yeah,
be
yeah.
sitting somewhere in the
I
4.
absolutely would be in the top
Yeah.
4. But look, my prediction, honestly, is I think that the Bulldogs will win 30-14 with Burden,
That's
with
polite.
Burden to miss 3 kicks.
Thank you so much. I accept that politeness.
Honestly, I'm not trying to even be a prick. I just think that the Bulldogs will bounce back after last week's performance. I genuinely do believe
because
that.
I got Sal the Chilean watching, and Samir Abu Williams, who's a mad Dragons fans over there. Oh, why couldn't we get someone else? But anyway, so boys, I'm not going to let us down. I'm going to go Dragons by 8, and just harass these doggies for the whole weekend.
Look, it's a good call. If the Dragons win, they're not going to win by a big margin. But I do think that...
You're on the money. I'm being over the top by saying 8, and I am being biased.
Yeah. Oh,
Before anyone says, I am being biased.
Can I just say, one thing I realized about last week is that Curran didn't... I felt like Curran wasn't as effective starting at the 12.
Dragons one to... Oh, thank God.
I think that Curran was much better off the bench, and Salmon starting will actually give us a big leg up in defense. I know people aren't a fan of Salmon's attack,
Mate, does
but
all the
honestly,
dirty
I
work.
think his defense is really, really good.
We've
He makes,
realised.
38, 40 tackles a
He
game.
does all the dirty
And then when
work.
Curran comes on as a prop playing in the middle, I think he's more effective there. And that's why I think that the Dogs will be a lot better. I do think, though, that we needed one more big boy. And if we had Pawasa there instead
I think
of...
Curran will score on the weekend. I'll be surprised if he doesn't. He does seem... He's got that... He should be able to score against the Dragons.
I'm going to say Fox for a hat-trick.
Yeah, on that
I'm going
wing.
to say Fox for a hat-trick.
Playing against those snails. I hope no one kicks him the ball through. You know how
honestly-
have you seen how often they kick the ball through him and he gets it, regathers, kicks and scores?
Look, we can do that. And we missed a very good opportunity. I didn't know why he didn't back himself against the Raiders when he came up
They
against
should have done
Rapana.
it more often.
Anyway.
Chips 98, big Dragons fans by the look of things. Go Chips. Dragons by 50. Go the Dragons.
Go the Doggies!
This isn't 2010 under Wayne Bennett.
This is going to be an absolute grudge match at the Kennel household.
You know what?
We're going to be. Are you going
I just wish both clubs were sitting in the 8 or top 4,
It'd
and
be
then we
a
could
great matchup.
absolutely
Yeah,
hate
it'd be
each
a
other,
great
not
matchup.
talk each other for the whole week, and say malicious stuff personally to each other here. But when your sides both sides have sucked for about the better part of close to a decade, it's just
Go eat payroll supporting the Doggies. Mate, you're a Doggies supporter. Let's hope so. Zata, Birdo, Bomb.
look at this bend over Bengali. Sorry, guys. I know he's from
Hey,
Bangladesh.
calm down, bro.
Bending over.
No,
Like-
he's not. It's a Kennel podcast. He's supporting the
Well,
Kennel
hang
podcast.
on a sec. Who's he going for? Bulldogs or Drags? Right, Bulldogs.
Bulldoggins. The Bulldog.
Bulldogs. Was he just sitting on the fence?
I don't know.
These Bengalis sitting
Zata
on the
reckons
fence.
Birdo Bomb will be back to test Lomax and Sloan. Look, I think that the Birdo Bomb needs to come back quite seriously, quite quickly. But in any case, we've been going for an hour. If you're still here, please give us a thumbs up. Please subscribe to us. Do all the nice things. Share our channel. We've got so much content coming up. We really appreciate your support. It's been lovely to have all you guys here. It's going to be a cracking game on Thursday night. As I say, Fox for a hat trick, 30-14. Up the Dogs. What's your prediction? Repeat it.
Oh no, didn't I say 16-8? Because the Dogs love defending and
No,
not scoring.
It won't be 16-8. We won't. Yeah, it won't be 16-8.
The Dogs love defending but not scoring.
Up the Doggies. We've got actually a preview of the Bulldogs and Dragons game coming out tomorrow with Jack from the Red V podcast. We will be releasing that tomorrow before midday. Look out for that. Share
These
it with
guys-
your friends. Share it with your
Just
buddies.
before we go, payroll. If that's Rugby Sevens, do convert over to Rugby League. Start a whole comp in Dakar.
It'll be mad if you guys play rugby league in Bangladesh.
Who they call
I'm
themselves?
sure there'll be some great guys there.
What a team name, the Bengali Eye. Jeez. Please
Mood
end this
FM.
podcast now.
Mood FM's asked, is your dream game final opponent each other's clubs? As a Hurstville boy who supports the Doggies, I'd love nothing more than seeing Aqua half blue and white and half red and white. Honestly, that would be the dream.
Hey,
that
Mood.
would be so good to see the Dogs Dragons in a grand final. Bring back some of those nostalgic feelings.
Oh, yep.
Just like I would love to see a Doggies and Eels grand final. I think imagine a Doggies Eels grand final in our day and age. It would be absolutely massive. That would be insane.
Frank B, no Doggy, no Gerard Sun Dogs real chance. Good call. I mean, I would have loved to see. I'd love to see a grand final between the Dragons and the Dogs.
Bro,
It's been
let me
40
tell you, that'd
almost
be
years.
So fantastic.
That would be lovely. I think there'd be punch ups in the street.
I agree with you, Frank B. Though no Gerard Sutton, Dogs a real chance. Look, I think if we defend like we have been defending, and we cut down our errors, keep our completion rate to about 75-80%, I reckon we will win. Just finally, Central Sydney Wolves Soccer Club, LA Dib. This is your former coach here, Bill Carafortia.
Bill
Sorry.
Carafortia. No, it's Bill Carafortia. He's a St George fan. Yeah, he's
Shout out to
flying
you,
Greek.
Bill. Thanks for joining us on the podcast.
He's a mad Greek St George fan. So, yeah.
Hope the doggies win for your sake on Thursday night, just so that you guys can come back and have a bit of a whinge about how you guys were robbed.
I'm just worried the E-Power is going to come back after another comment. Can we just end this podcast now?
Thanks so much for joining us, guys. We enjoy every single minute. Thank you all for your chat. Thank you for sticking around. Look out for the podcast tomorrow, and we've got some really, really exciting stuff coming up. It's all confirmed. We're just working on timelines, but it's really, really interesting. If you haven't seen any of our stuff, please go through and have a look at our stuff. Thank you so much for joining. Go the doggies, and good to see the Eels are shit. Have a good one.